What's going on, y'all? KM Best here. I just hit Infinite, came in at rank 19 with a Baron Zemo deck that I kind of fell in love with, and I think you won't be surprised when you see the deck. That's right, Baron Zemo, instead of being a card that I built around specifically, is instead here as a sort of synergy piece with the Elsa Loki deck. Now, the main thing Baron Zemo is giving you is that he is a good big card that is also synergizing with A, Elsa Bloodstone, and B, Mockingbird. And I think that specific upside is what enables some of the weirder things you can do with Baron Zemo. I know a lot of people right now are like, I'm going to mill my entire opponent's deck. And I don't think you have to build that far to get that kind of upside. With just Cable and Zemo, I was able to have multiple games where the game just ended and my opponent had no cards in the deck. There was even a game where I had they had no cards in the deck after I milled them, and they played a blob that just revealed with nothing in the deck in a dark dimension. And I think that kind of stuff is typically how I like handling these new cards. Remember when Annihilus came out and I was like, you need to try it in a much more minimalistic package, which ended up being the Annihilus Sentry Hood package that was in kind of everything. That's sort of how I feel about Baron Zemo right now. You don't need to run Yondu. You don't need to run Gladiator. I do think Gladiator could be a card that I'd be interested in fitting in here, but you don't need to. What you need is just Zemo and like one other card, and a decent amount of the time you'll be actually gaining information from the stuff you get out of their deck, making plays that have changed the context of the game based on what you get out of Zemo and what you get out of Cable. And I think that gives this deck a real edge in ways that I think were not present earlier. This is a channel that has long been, anti-milling. I have not been a mill guy, but I will say that if you are able to think critically about what it means that your opponent is missing the card that they are missing, Cable and Zemo is actually a fairly compelling cube stealing package when the hits hit. Now, I'm not saying that it's worth doing on its own. I would not be building around this stuff if it was not something that I already wanted to do in a Loki deck. But the fact that Cable goes with Loki, the fact that Zemo goes with Elsa and with Mockingbird means that this whole package just really works together in a way that I was really taken aback by. I was surprised by the added dimensions that this deck has now that it has this, kind of alternate win condition built into it. And I think that this is genuinely probably worth checking out. And I think that this is going to be, if Baron Zemo succeeds, this is going to be how. This kind of stuff where it's like small package Zemo building on the other stuff he does good and not being a mill deck. Kitty Pryde is a key piece of the Elsa Bloodstone package, and of course a very important part of your Loki deck as well, but I will caution you that a lot of the issues people have when they play this list is that you're going to run into situations where you're going to tunnel vision on the Kitty Pryde, and you should not do that. Not tunnel visioning on the Kitty Pryde is very, very important, honestly. It's the kind of thing that really does matter. Being able to spread your power around, not getting addicted to Kitty, that's a really important thing to keep in mind. Make sure you're asking yourself, am I tunnel visioning on the Kitty Pryde? Do I really need a 1-4, or do I need a card in my hand to get something good off of Loki? And that kind of stuff, the tension between the game plans, that really does impact how good this card is. However, unbelievably good with Elsa, unbelievably good with Hope Summers, basically just an incredible card here, and this is one of the few decks where she is legitimately that good, but boy, is she good here. You are a Loki deck, and you are thus interested in playing Quinjet. Now, a lot of the time, people are going to think, oh, I should play Kitty on one. Most of the time, you're going to want to play Quinjet on one in this deck. A, because a lot of the cards that you are going to play add cards to your hand, and you want to make sure that you get cards in your hand and still are able to draw cards, so you don't want to fill your hand up. B, because Quinjet being down accelerates the earliest you're going to have your Elsa online, and that is pretty important. Although with Baron Zemo in the deck, it is actually a little bit less important because Zemo is 2 bodies on 3, and that is pretty good. Quinjet is generally one of your best turn 1 plays. Far more than Snowguard, far more than Kitty Pryde, I am going to want to play Quinjet on 1 if I have the choice. So why would I not play Snowguard on 1? Well, one of the major issues this deck has is it has some real specific power spikes. Hope Summers, Loki, Mockingbird, Elsa Bloodstone. There's cards you really want to hit, and there's cards that go really well with those cards. And when you play a turn 1 Snowguard and then your hand is not, something you can play on turn 2 and then it's like a Coulson, you end up in a situation where you run the risk of filling up your hand too much. That is a real thing that happens in this deck. Snowguard is almost always the culprit. I end up holding her a decent amount of the time. Hope Summers gives you the leeway to hold her a little bit more. Baron Zemo gives you the leeway to hold her a little bit more because you're no longer getting so punished for not playing her if you're trying to instigate an Elsa strategy. This does, I think, overall make the deck easier to play. The addition of Zemo and Hope and Mockingbird and all that. I think the deck gets a lot easier, but this is still something I expect to trip people up. As part of your soft mill package, Cable is totally adequate, and as a 2-drop that adds a card to your hand so you can Loki stuff later, Cable is one of the best there is. I think Cable is actually better than Mirage or Sentinel for this spot right now. Better than Mirage specifically because you're already doing like the Zemo stuff. You get a little bit more information. You learn what they're playing so you can figure out if you want to play Zemo. And of course, better than Sentinel because your board gets very full and you want to draw the card, but you don't want to have a card in your deck that you feel like you're priced into playing all of the time. And Sentinel especially, I found is just very tempting. When you have a Quinjet on the board, you're like, oh, I'll put a Sentinel in here. It'll be dope. And then you run out of board space and you're like, man, I wish I didn't have that Sentinel here. Cable, for that reason, synergy with Zemo is the card that I'm running. Jeff is your, I guess you'd say, secondary target for, Hope Elsa stuff. But honestly, he might be the primary. Yes, you're going to hit Kitty with more of them. But I think when you have the choice, it's turn 4 or something, and you're like, oh, I have the choice between hitting a Jeff and hitting a Kitty. A lot of the time, I'm going to pick the Jeff to put that buff on because the Kitty's going to get more buffs later anyway. That Jeff needs to get it now. And Jeff, of course, synergizing with both Elsa Bloodstone and Hope Summers makes him just an absolute slam dunk here. Elsa Bloodstone is a card that puts a very large amount of power on the board. And because I mentioned synergy with Baron Zemo, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in the Baron Zemo section, but suffice to say that this deck just kind of fills up the board basically all the time. And if Elsa Bloodstone is not doing anything other than hitting something in each lane, she is going to have effectively 9 power. If she's doing that and hitting a Kitty or a Jeff, like multiple Elsa buffs, she's going to have 11 to 13. It's not what she was in the old days, but man, you are really filling up the board with this deck, and man, can you take advantage of that. This deck is an excellent Agent Coulson deck because of the inclusion of Hope Summers. Hope Summers is what allows this deck to play a little bit more of that Agent Coulson style gameplay. You are often going to be able to play the 4-drop and the 5-drop you get from Coulson. You will play them and they will matter and it will be important to you. When you have these draws, there's like different packages that interact in different ways. And yes, obviously this is great with Loki, but when you have Hope Summers, you can use this card and you can use like an accelerant like Kitty or Jeff in order to really play above the curve anyway. Just play things that are a little bit too strong for you to be playing. And because you have Jeff and Kitty, not really get punished for that. It's a way you can use this card to actually win games, or the cards he gives you, I should say, that is totally independent of Loki. Hope Summers is the card I have like the most question mark about in this deck. I think you could very easily replace her with, Rogue or Gladiator, something like that, right? I wouldn't be necessarily opposed to that, but I honestly found that while, yes, there was some tension in the deck with regards to like, okay, which one of these am I actually going to prioritize? I honestly found that I was prioritizing Hope Summers like most of the time. Getting extra energy is super good, and this deck has so many ways to generate cards and bounce stuff back to hand and move things around that you're kind of always using that extra energy. So you are very able to use this alongside Elsa to like really actually fill the board up. Hope is pretty important to that game plan. And I think generally I was impressed with how she performed. All right, let's talk about the Baron himself. Is he irreplaceable in this deck? Probably not. Is he quite good here? I honestly believe the answer is yes. Now, 2 things to keep in mind. First of all, you are a deck that wants to fill the board up, not just for those late game Elsas, but also like, you have these games where sometimes you have like a Kitty Pride and then all 3 drops, right? You play a Baron Zemo and then on turn 4, you have Elsa Kitty and you're off to the races. And that kind of stuff is really important, right? Like that really does matter when you are like in these games where you just didn't draw a 1-drop or a 2-drop. Zemo, Kitty, and Elsa will get that Kitty starting to get those buffs immediately, and that kind of just like kicks you back into the game, right? In addition, the card you get off of Baron Zemo is usually going to be, okay. This is like a pretty well-statted 3-drop, right? Most of the time. I think the only times it was really bad was like I was hitting a hood or something, but outside of that, it's like this is mostly just going to be pretty solid. It's like a 3-5 to a 3-7. It was rarely ever, much bigger than that. I don't think I ever hit any like 5 or 6 drops with it or anything like that. It was just a solid performer, but that card is not your card, which means it discounts Mockingbird, which means you can curve Baron Zemo into Mockingbird if you ever want to do that, and that is a lot of stats. Like, I had a game where I played Baron Zemo Mockingbird on an Asgard, and it was like, oh, that's 17 power on turn 4. That's pretty good, and that is not using this to its, like, full capability. You have a lot of ability to, like, discount the Mockingbird even further. Baron Zemo just has that little wrinkle attached to him. As a mill card, I think he's not that great, but he does have the, minor upside of like against Thanos, he's going to get a Thanos stone a lot of the time. It might not matter too much, but it turns off their big Thanoses. It makes their blobs a little bit weaker. You have the ability to like genuinely do damage to decks some of the time, and that does matter. But mostly he's here because you like filling the board up, you like good statted cards, and you like cards that are not from your deck. This is probably the best card in the game, and I don't think you should ever think about removing Shang-Chi from this deck. You are a little bit too small to not have answers to the bigger stuff running around right now. I think there's a little bit of a misconception as to like what Shang-Chi's actual role is. A lot of people talk about sandcastles and sandcastle kicking. I will say that in a world without Shang-Chi, it very quickly becomes whoever builds the biggest sandcastle beats everyone else. And I think that Shang-Chi has an overall good effect on the metagame. However, I do think it is undeniable that he is kind of everywhere. There's this weird thing that happens when you play this deck where you're like, what if I just never play Loki? And he's definitely the wrong decision some of the time. Or if you're using this variant, she. Shout out to my gender fluid pals. This is a card that is extremely powerful, but you really do have these games where you're like, if I get rid of this Mockingbird and this Shang-Chi, whatever I get from them is not going to be better. Like, the backup plan in this deck is really good. The Hope, Elsa, board spam stuff. There's just a lot of points in here now. And I think that does put a little bit less emphasis on Loki. Of course, when you're just, like, spinning your wheels, though, like, you'll still have those games where it's just like, I played a Cable and a Coulson. I guess I'm just going to Loki on 4 for 6 and probably beat your ass. You still have those in here for sure. It's just really interesting how often I found myself being like, man, I really shouldn't have played that Loki. We are all familiar with how good Mockingbird is in Thanos, and I would say it is significantly worse in this deck than in Thanos for, duh, right? But I think that this is still a card that is getting a lot of good use here. It's usually a 2 or a 3/9. And even when it's not getting discounted at all, which is basically never because of the amount of stuff that you're doing, this is still like not the worst card in the world to have in your deck. It's a card that can win lanes just by being a card that has numbers on it. It is also very difficult to Shang-Chi, which makes you feel extremely safe just like playing it out there, right? Like you can't Shang-Chi this card, so the squirrel location popped up. I guess I'm just going to play the Mockingbird on 2. It's cool. All right, it costs 2 now. Like you just get a lot of value out of this card. It's very good. And I think we all know how good it is, but I don't know if people have really grasped it outside of Thanos, with this extra created card synergy, with the extra energy that you get from Hope, and the extra card you get from Zemo. It just felt very consistent in terms of the points I was putting on the board, and Mockingbird felt like a very big part of that. All right, y'all, thank you so much for making it this far in the video. I will throw some gameplay on the back end, and I will put some music under it for you. Don't worry, I got you. Thank you so much for making it this far. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed that. I really hope you did if you've made it this far in the video. Like, if you didn't enjoy it and you're still watching, I mean, thanks. You should also like and subscribe, but it's probably, like, less likely, Thank you so much. I've been KM Best. I hope that you find some success with Baron Zemo. I hope that the comments don't yell at me too much for making a Loki video. I fell in love with it. Like, I started playing it and I was like, this rocks. I love it. So let me know what you're doing with Baron Zemo, unless it's the mill stuff, because I already know about that. If you have another like weird angle on this card, please do let me know in the comments. I am actually interested, and I still read all of them. As always, I've been Cam Best. You've been phenomenal. I'll see you in the next one. Husky Puppies, I demand you pump 8. If you're in this stream right now, I demand you donate me 8 cubes. This is the only acceptable thing in this scenario is giving me 8 cubes. Nothing else will do. The only moral action in this space. He's live as well? Fuck. Probably not giving me 8 cubes, though. I see. Yeah, it's actually not that bad. Not the greatest thing on earth. It's not that bad. All right, you know what? Shit. I instantly regret every action I've taken. Shit. That turns into something, right? All right. Can you do it? Ladies and gentlemen, 8 cubes. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 Jeffs. I don't know if you're here enough, but I know you're a mod on the main Discord, which means you are, at the very least, marginally responsible, which is so much better than any of my other. Like, cannot stress it enough. Just how good being even halfway responsible is. Different pilk? Damn. I don't actually believe you, but I expect being like, no. Coming over from Huskies, that's an amazing win. I told him he had to donate. And he listened. One of the greatest 8-cubers I've seen on Twitch. The fucking double Jeff? Yeah. You never see it coming. I'm gonna get a fucking Mockingbird dropped on my head here, by the way. Just I know that's happening. But what I'm gonna do is, when they drop the Mockingbird on my head, I'm gonna Baron Zemo, and I'm gonna get Reality Stone to turn off the collapsed mind. You feel me? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Reality Stone. You don't have Cryo. I don't need Cryo. Reality Stone right now. Woo! Get fucked! Let's go! Let's fucking go! We actually did it! We actually lived the dream? Holy shit, there is no way! No way! There is just no way, chat. Oh, they skipped again. Fuck. Okay, that is bad. That is actually bad. They were able to skip here. Shit on. Wait. Why did they skip again? Hello? Still doesn't work. What just happened? Infinite? That doesn't win. Maybe they're She-Hulking me. I don't know. Okay. We pulled it off, chat! Click that Zemo play? Yeah, that's a YouTube short. Just being a gladiator that works well with Elsa Mockingbird. It's that you have a bunch of really high prio 3s. And I think Baron Zemo sort of significantly simplifies your, like, Elsa lines. Also, I'm not sure about Hope Summers, and she might need to be rogue. I'm not positive yet. But, like, just randomly discounting Mockingbird is, like, you know, that's actually pretty good, right? Like, oh, depressing. We're fucked. All right. Okay. Question now. Oh, wait, I can turn it off. I'm about to fucking have to. I hate her. Answer was yes, I do have to turn it off. This is a Surfer deck, and I don't feel good into this matchup right now. Thanks mostly to them running the card Mobius. Oh. Oh, man, I got tons of shit. A lot of shit for that. Have fun. You have eaten my Quinjet. I wonder what the Zemo pulls. It's probably like a Nova, right? Yeah, I don't know if I want Zemo or a tech card. I do know that, like, I feel like I'm missing one card, and I don't know what it is. I feel like there's just a card that I'm missing, and if I tab out, he's gonna snap me, so I can't go look for it. But I feel like there's a card that I'm just, like, fucking forgetting about. Not tell you for the life of me what the fuck it is. Mordo? I don't think it's Mordo. Shadow King? I feel like I'm dead. Who the hell knows this? Holy shit, I got their Silver Surfer. Issue. Do we still just die to the Nova? I think the answer is yes. We still just eat shit to the Nova. Oh wait, those are 3s. Holy fuck. Holy fuck, wait a minute. Mother of God. Mother of God. Alright, I'm not liking that they snapped after. It feels fucking bad to me. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess I'm losing 4 cubes here, but it's okay. And Killmonger, and we win. Guess they weren't sniping. Goddamn. Woo! This is cool. This cable's fucking doing things, chat. We just hit 69 Hope Summers boosters. I'm thinking Wolverine cosplay right now, but we'll have to see what else happens. We'll have to see what else happens. Boy, that's a guy. Can you Prime sub on mobile? I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me, dude. I'm just gonna play the Mockingbird now. What the fuck do I care, right? Can't Shang-Chi it. I don't give a fuck. We're getting hella'd. Solid. Alright. Red Hulk cosplay. That feels interesting. Red Hulk is a weird choice. No, it's not. It's just a big card. Red Hulk feels like a great choice in Hela. Might be BK? I would just play it in Hela instead of Giganto, right? It's likely to be bigger, better when you don't have Hela. Seems free to me. Wow. That's kind of crazy. I guess what we're learning here is I don't know shit. Seems as though that the thing I'm learning is I don't know a fucking thing. Yeah, I mean, you know, I regret a lot of the decisions I made. Okay. Is this ever a thing? I don't know. I'm probably dead. Hit the Drac. Shit. One, two, and then it's Apocalypse. Did we just win? Oh, they cooked so hard. Crazy. Quinjet. Yeah, and then another Magento dub. Magento is absolutely dubbing the fuck out. What a great card. One of the best there ever was. They put their trust in me, pushed as far as I could go. That's so true. That's just so true. Chat. There's never been anything more true than that. The code giveaway. We've done 2 today. I got several. I'm probably gonna ration them out over the next few. I want to reward my viewers. You know what I mean? The people that stick with me for me. Probably ration them out over the next few streams rather than just doing one big stream that everyone just goes to. Will be here. I'm glad. Cable gets me a Red Bull. Wow. Well, that is nice. That is real nice. Not nice enough for me to play, but you know. On Martyr, no questions asked. I think there are some questions we may have to ask. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think there may be some questions that need asking. Alright, so. I want a Zemo. Why do I want a Zemo so much? How do I want a Zemo so fucking much? I want to do it so badly, though. I do it so badly. Okay, so I think it ends up being Zero here. Titania here. War Machine. Kitty Pride, Baron Zemo, just absolute, right? Every single time. All right, Baron Zemo, I'm gonna need you to pull some big bullshit, please. Are you fucking shitting me? Still won, but are you fucking shitting me? Refund your season pass or give it to me. I don't think that's an accurate or good thing to be doing, personally. If it were me, I would not be giving KX money. Hair is so long and so messy right now. Oh my god. Best is correct. Give it to me instead. You guys are some desperate little piggies, aren't you? Some desperate little piggies coming in hot in my chat room. Disregard that I said coming in hot. So I apologize for that. Am I getting Ronin'd over here? I feel like I'm getting Ronin'd over here. I will simply play a Hope Summers. Is Decklist fun as hell? It is. Honestly, it's been fun as hell. They get a Cable or a Jeff. Frankly, I'm cool with either. The way this game is going. As long as I don't get super shit on out of this X-Mansion. Kinda did, not gonna lie. But hey, who's counting? Have you played Red Hulk? I don't even own him yet. We're gonna do a Gamba the next time I need to like refill my water on what cache he's in. I opened one cache and got the Shaw big face guy. So, you know, things are going great over here. Mother of God. I mean, like, how do I not do this? How do I not make the greatest play anyone's ever made? Oh, buddy. I have horrible news for you, my friend. I'm you, but stronger. I have horrible news for you, my friend. Things have not gone according to plan. So no one told you life was gonna be this way. Star-Lord was the only way we actually lose that? Yeah, every other two we probably beat. Holy shit. I'm so upset. That is one of the worst things that's ever happened. That really hurts. I do like getting an Isle. I'm a deck that is definitely trying to like do shit to me like that. Oh, jeez. Could I have invested less in the middle and won that game? How much did I win the middle by there? Because I was afraid of trying to play around a Spectrum. And that's why I put the 9 there. Yeah, because I was playing too far around the spectrum. No, that was the right amount to play around the spectrum, actually. Fuck me. I played the right amount around the spectrum. 1624, the spectrum would add 4. Yeah. Happens, I guess. I'm not sure I grasp what's going on. Not on a Daredevil. I'm not really in the business of leeching him on a Daredevil. So, like, I'll stay in here because I just got my shit kicked in and I'm really upset. But what's the move they're cooking here? Am Am I not grasping it or something? What's going on? Uh-huh. One of us is not grasping what's happening. I don't know who it is. What is happening? What is it? Jeff left or right? That is the question. Okay, you have the Jeff. Congratulations. What? You are accusing my opponents of sniping. I'm gonna have to time you. That's sort of how I feel. I feel like I have a platform I should try to use responsibly. And of all the people that snipe me, Ava is the only one. Sorry, I don't know that he does. Of all the people I have accused of sniping, Ava's the only one who's come to me specifically and said, I don't snipe you. And so, for that reason, I just don't think it's responsible to continue to snipe. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna have to start timing people out of this. I think that's just, I can't not. Sorry. Does it have text there? Nice. Am I gonna get Killmongered here? Mobius has more points than SK. Doesn't hurt. I'd imagine they probably just leave here. Maybe I die. Let's find out if I die. Okay. 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 I do not die. I do not die. Selenar, dude, welcome back. How's your new job treating you, buddy? Variant Gamma soon. We can do that when we hit 80. Will you play Rolk later in the stream? I will indeed. Hello, Eliath. Weird to work for them as a Chargers fan, but here we are indeed. Are we really calling him Rolk? I personally don't super care. I'm not gonna lie. I personally don't incredibly care what people call him. Dan Hippolyte is probably top 5 picks. Ooh, I don't believe that. Ah, man. Worst part is I was really thinking, like, what if he Mobius? Yo, this card's actually kind of fucked. Yeah, I don't know if it's people shorten him to Rolk in the comics. That cannot be true. You watch NCAA? Yeah, of course. Are we about to talk about Caitlin Clark? My fucking goat? Is Werewolf Hip top 5? Probably. Are we about to talk about the GOAT? CC? Werewolf might be bottom 5. Oh, that's crazy. That's a crazy take. Is it bad that I'm rooting against the Hawkeyes to not have to deal with parade traffic? Yes. That is bad. You're a terrible person for doing it. Did they change when to resub for Am? I do not actually know. Whenever I sub, I just have to click the button and it's like, hey, it's your Prime sub. I feel bad seeing Van Lith getting clowned on, but Clark acts. No, okay, look, I'll be the fucking HVL defense force here. And I'll say that any defensive scheme that has you going under screens on Caitlin Clark, that's the coach's fault. I thought this photo was supposed to be Joe Daddy. You're right, actually. What happened is I downloaded the Joe picture, and it's sitting in my downloads folder, and I don't remember what I named it, and I can't find it. There's like 800 fucking things I have to look through. All right, I mean, are we going to win? We have a blob here that could hit 16, but I don't know if it will. Hey. I can likely have to send it to you again. No, do not fucking bother Joe Daddy Stevenson over my app.